always keep the last option for migration if you are forced to.
Nobody has laid out a red carpet for you.
No, if it was bad, we wouldn't be here now, so the good outweighs the bad. Hello, this is the first episode of the Chamedan podcast, recorded in April 2023. In this podcast, we will become acquainted with the stories of migrants and their struggles during migration. This podcast is accessible through various applications such as Instagram, YouTube, and podcast platforms. I am Layla from Canada, and along with Murdad from America, we are the producers of this podcast.
For years, millions of Iranians are scattered around the world. We are no exception to this, and through social networks, we have been able to bring this connection closer. Our guest today is actually our former colleague with whom we had been in touch through social media. This work friendship turned into a lasting friendship, and I hope that in the very near future, all Iranians around the world will unite through these very networks. Our guest today is Ms. Bahar from Oman, and welcome warmly.
Thank you. Like other Iranians who initially reside in Iran, I also had a residence in Iran and dedicated many years to my business. In fact, I had a completely physical business in the field of law and legal systems, and the COVID-19 pandemic caused a major transformation worldwide. Many activities that required physical presence faced failure. During the pandemic, I was forced to close my business. At the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, I decided to launch several online businesses, but the first problem I encountered was the internet issue in Iran. When the internet lacks good quality, online systems cannot function properly. Additionally, there was another major problem with financial transactions. The third and worst problem was the sanctions imposed on Iran, which affected any system we intended to establish. For this reason, my spouse and I decided to first go to a destination close to Iran. The first destination that came to our minds was Turkey, a country that seems appealing to most Iranians because a visa is not required to enter Turkey, and its conditions seemed easier. We thought that the conditions would be more comfortable for us there. We wanted to purchase a property in Turkey and obtain a passport through it to improve our situation. Initially, we were told that we could buy a house for $250,000. However, later on, the law changed, and this minimum amount increased to $400,000. Therefore, this option was completely eliminated. Our next option was a student visa. As you know, a student visa is an easy and accessible solution in many countries. In Turkey, I received acceptance from several universities for various academic levels. I had considered acceptance for different levels, including bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees, and had chosen several fields, including nursing, real estate, and management. However, the issue was not studying at the university. The problem was with my spouse's visa. Some of the lawyers I consulted with said we couldn't be together. Others suggested that we could be together after 1 year, and after that, the situation would improve. Then we were advised to get a tourist visa. However, this option also fell through. Our third option was to register a company. We thought that by registering a company, we could obtain our residency. The main issue here was that anyone who registered their company and started their business had to employ 5 Turkish citizens. For a new business, hiring 5 people was not cost-effective. For example, if you haven't started your business yet, and you want to hire 5 employees and provide insurance for them, after that, it takes 1 year to be able to hire an Iranian employee after these 5 Turkish employees. However, even with that, this option was very challenging for a new business. Unfortunately, in Turkey, their immigration laws are not explicitly written and are often vague. On the other hand, countries such as Canada and Australia have official immigration agencies and well-defined immigration laws. These countries also provide an excellent infrastructure for immigrants. Overall, Turkey can be a great tourist destination. It has many attractions, beautiful natural landscapes, and a variety of cafes. These amenities are excellent for tourists. However, it should be noted that Turkey is not an immigrant-friendly country. Before traveling to Turkey, we practiced the Turkish language for a while as many people there do not speak English. It is interesting to note that you must have a strong command of the Turkish language and be familiar with its accent. Regarding the system in Turkey, I must say that there is a potential for bribery, and laws in this country can be influenced by money and bribes. While this may be useful in certain specific cases, overall, it is not a favorable situation because if everything is resolved through money, many problems will arise. The next topic of our discussion is security, and it is true that Turkey has security concerns. In addition, inflation in Turkey has been worse than in Iran in some cases, and many Turkish people are not satisfied with these inflationary conditions. However, I was able to complete some of my work in Turkey, but most of my work remained unfinished. Turkey has also faced challenges and has had weak relations with many countries. In addition, there were restrictions on financial transactions. However, I did not get the expected results. At the same time, I did a search to get a postdoc from Spain and found an immigration lawyer to help me because I was not fluent in Spanish. However, in the end, I realized that I don't need a lawyer because one has to do their own research and find a professor and a university that offers a postdoc. Unfortunately, my search was unsuccessful and I did not find the teacher I was looking for. So, we decided to go to the United Arab Emirates. However, Dubai had become extremely expensive and crowded. I conducted research on other countries. Eventually, one of our friends who was residing in Oman and had 12 years of experience there explained the conditions in Oman to us. I was in contact with this friend, and he recommended that I go to Oman since I wasn't satisfied with the conditions in Turkey and had difficulties with its laws. With the advice of this friend and his assistants in Oman, I registered a company in the country. I had already registered a real estate company in the United States, and I decided to register the same company in Oman. This process took about 2 months, and then we obtained residence in Oman. Currently, we are engaged in work in Oman. I have a great affinity for Arab countries and a keen interest in the Arabic language. Even during my high school years, I had a strong command of the Arabic language, despite studying mathematics as my major. The math teacher used to tell humanities students that there was a lady in the math field who had excellent knowledge of Arabic, and they should emulate her. I myself had a strong interest in Arabic and sought to learn about their customs and traditions. When we arrived in Oman, the Omanis treated us Iranians very well. There is a friendly and brotherly relationship between Iran and Oman, and wherever I go, I feel a good vibe and do not feel estranged. Their system is highly advanced and offers exceptional security. I always imagined how secure it would be and how much tranquility it would provide. The weather in Oman is very warm, and I greatly enjoy it. Relations with other countries are also much easier, and transportation is excellent. For example, food items can be shipped from Oman to the United States in less than 48 hours, while if I were to travel to the US, it would take more than 48 hours. Oman enjoys customs exemptions and has a thriving business environment. Furthermore, the people of Oman are proficient in both English and Arabic, and individuals of all ages can communicate in English. However, someone going to Oman should be proficient in English. Oman has a population of around 5 million, and if we know Arabic, we can establish communication with half of the population. There are individuals from various countries such as India, Bangladesh, the Philippines, as well as European countries and England residing in Oman. Additionally, there are extensive connections and interactions with England, and many ordinary people and politicians have lived and studied in England. Everything is progressing very well. Although the current living conditions are good, we should wait and see what the future holds, hoping for what God has planned for us.
I have a question. As an immigrant myself, I have experienced the process of migrating from Iran to Canada, settling there, and understanding the laws and conditions. In my opinion, this process was very difficult, and every time I think about the cold weather in Canada, I get tired. I believe it would be better to go somewhere warmer and start life from scratch, even if the culture there is similar to ours as Iranians. But the thought of starting over discourages me, and I can't even imagine it. I know that you went to Turkey and lived there for several years. You were able to create a new life and then migrate to Oman. I'm curious to know how the decision-making process was for going to Oman. I know you're contemplating your next destination, something better. How do you manage this idea and a fresh start?
I enjoy the challenges and experiences of living in new and different places. The feeling of growth and progress in new environments is very important to me. Planning and decision-making for traveling to new destinations has always been exciting. My wish is to travel to the United States and then to France in the future, although I understand that this plan requires a lot of time and resources. However, my passion and enthusiasm for achieving these dreams are very important to me. In the coming week, I plan to make a final decision, and all my suitcases are ready for the journey. I always strive not to have any specific attachments to a place, position, or material possession. This mindset allows me to go to new places whenever I want and experience new adventures.
I think that's a great approach. One thing I always think about as an immigrant is that I've been able to shape a new life and accept all the ups and downs that come with it. No matter how challenging it may be, I have to embrace it. Choosing Canada as my destination, I knew that I might not always find the conditions to be exactly as I desired and that there would be significant hardships. By changing your environment, you always keep your suitcases ready, and that can be incredibly exciting.
Have you ever asked yourself this question? What did you think and what happened? Have you reached a point where you ask yourself this question?
Yes, I have asked myself this question many times, and the answer can be both positive and negative. This question is not only asked by immigrants but even by individuals living in Iran. I believe that migration comes with both good and bad days. There are moments when something wonderful happens, and we tell ourselves that we made the right decision to migrate. But there may be other days when something unfortunate occurs, and a person may question their decision to migrate. I don't think there can be a precise answer to this question because the experience of migration is different for each individual.
Now tell me, what did you leave behind in the suitcase you packed and left the country with?
Experiences, memories, and insights that I had in Iran remain behind. I believe that the experiences I gained in Iran are mostly related to the country itself, and I may only utilize a very small portion of those experiences outside the country and apply them in different contexts.
It is commonly said that during migration, all the hours of life reset to zero, and you have to start everything from scratch. You start from zero and have to relearn skills like reading, writing, and speaking. All your experiences and thoughts have blended with another culture and interacted with a different system. Your biggest challenge here is language, which serves as the bridge of communication between people.
In my opinion, even joking will change. For example, when you make a joke with your colleagues at work, the subject of the joke is perceived differently due to cultural differences. For us, a joke that is very funny may not only lose its humor in translation, but it may even appear ridiculous to us. This factor gradually leads to withholding from sharing and discussing various topics, creating a sense of separation among individuals. Over time, this can have a profound impact on your behavior and interactions, and ultimately bring about changes in your personality. For someone who has decided to emigrate and wants to move away from his country, what do you suggest to facilitate this process?
One suggestion that I always make is to spend at least 1 or 2 weeks in the country where you think you can live before immigrating. During this time, live and familiarize yourself with the environment. Then, based on your own experience, make a decision. Of course, 2 weeks is not a long time, but it is very useful for a start. This time will help you understand the existing challenges and, if necessary, adapt to them. Not having the experience of living in the country where you want to live will be very difficult for you. Of course, this may not be feasible for all countries, such as the United States, Canada, or some European countries, for their own specific reasons. But for countries that are close to Iran, this access exists and you can gain the experience.
When we make the decision to migrate, we are actually entering a complex situation. These questions may arise in our minds. Where should we go? Will we be accepted? The migration process for a country like Canada can take a long time. Sending documents, interviews, and waiting can be time-consuming. When we migrate to our destination and arrive there, we realize that the migration process is only one part of the journey, and entering a new community and building a life from scratch also has its own challenges. In fact, we realize that migration has been a hill, and now we have to conquer a new peak in the new country.
That's right, the stages of migration come with challenges and difficulties, and it is crucial to understand that we need more effort and perseverance. No one rolls out the red carpet for us and makes the path easy. But these challenges come with opportunities and personal and professional growth. With determination and strong determination, we can take advantage of these opportunities and build a successful life in our new country. Therefore, migration is a complex process that requires effort, flexibility, and personal strengths that help us face challenges and create a new life in our destination country.
My very important recommendation for those who are interested in migration. It is true that migration advertisements are being done on social networks and various pages, and this can sometimes have an impact on people's decision-making. However, for a proper decision, it is important to separate ourselves from advertisements and one-sided positions, and we need intelligent analysis and evaluation. I request that you think more about whether migration is truly the best option for you, and whether you have insolvable problems and challenges where you currently are that can only be solved through migration. Also, keep in mind that migration also has its own challenges and difficulties, and in the new community, you have to start from scratch and strive for integration. No one will roll out the red carpet for you, and you have to navigate this path yourself. So, before making a decision, it is necessary to thoroughly examine all aspects and approach your choice with accuracy and transparency.
I thank you for the time you have spent and for sharing valuable experiences with us and the viewers and listeners. Goodbye.